How are you?
Hi.
Welcome back to Toronto.
Thanks.
You know, I've heard you say that you didn't really know that much about this story before you decided to do the movie,
Yeah.
and I kind of feel like a lot of people don't really know this story.
No.
What was it about it that really caught you?
When I read the script, I immediately felt sympathetic towards the relationship part of it. Well, it's just two people who are trying to relationships are difficult to everyone and to anyone. And then when you add in someone slowly escalating in whatever job they have and becoming a modern day celebrity when they don't come from anything that understands that. And he just skyrocketed super quickly. And it's a really interesting commentary, not commentary, but just an interesting thing to see someone in between late 1940s, early 1950s have that kind of intense fame.
And it was the beginning of that kind of fame at the era.
It was absolutely, and to see it how it relates to today, like his second marriage, he had a wedding in New Orleans and sold tickets to it. Like that's like
crazy.
the original reality television show.
It's the original Kardashian wedding, really.
Yeah, and that's mind-blowing that he did that, and in the night 1952 I think it was. So all those things made me really intrigued by it. But really, Mark Abraham penned the script, and the language that he uses is just so authentic, and it's so much fun to say, and it's so honest.
You know, everybody, of course, is talking about the fact that Tom is singing in this movie a lot, which sounds to me...
why wouldn't he be singing? So I'm confused.
I can think of a few reasons. I mean, it could
who
turn
would
out
sing
horribly
instead?
wrong. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that there have been movies where the actors didn't sing.
Maybe.
Would that terrify you as an actress?
To sing?
Yeah.
No, you just part of your job. I mean, I like singing, and if someone told me you have to sound like this person tomorrow, I'll be like, that's not possible, but if you give me 3 months, I can try, and you try. I mean, obviously certain things are not within your range, but this isn't within his range.
Right.
And so he was able to do it.
A lot of people are talking about his transformation as well. And, you know, the transformational aspect of film is still so, I think, interesting and intriguing to
Yeah.
people. And I think when you talk to other actors, they're intrigued watching their fellow actors kind of transform as well.
Yeah, it was eerie to see. They would do portraits that were like the classic portraits that you know of Hank Williams from his records or just from life, and they'd be trying to shoot the exact same portraits, and it's really strange how much they look alike. And he also, just with his facial expressions and his smile, completely took on that character in a really amazing way.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You know, a lot of people obviously are fascinated by the story, but I feel like a lot of people don't know the full story of Hank Williams at all, and I think that is what makes this movie so fascinating.
Well, you're 100% correct. I mean, the fact of the matter is, when I was sitting on a plane, I just got back from Nashville yesterday, and I was sitting next to a plane. Guy said, "Oh, I love country music, this and the other." And he said, "Hank Williams," and he said, "How old was he when he died?" I said, 29. He went, "No way!"
Right.
And he was telling me that he would absolutely love country.
Or that he sold tickets to his second wedding.
Yeah,
he's like the original Kardashian.
Yeah, yeah. Well, also you look at people selling tickets to their weddings now.
Right.
I mean, they sell it to People magazine.
Right.
You know, they sell the photographs. He was.
Was he a narcissist or just a good businessman?
I think that he was desperate for money at that time. He'd been kicked off the Opry, and his business manager talked him into it. So I think that was part of what it was. I don't think he cared at all about money. He didn't buy, he got a couple of Cadillacs, but he wasn't a guy consuming. He actually just wanted to do what he wanted to do the way he wanted to do it.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
You know, obviously a lot of people are talking about Tom's role in the movie, and there's something about transformational roles where an actor is able to fully transform into a different person that we all know that is just, I don't think it'll ever not be fascinating to watch. What was it about Tom that really just hit the nail on the head?
I just thought he was every time I saw him in a film, I was captivated by the way he was.
Yeah, he's very watchable.
He's very watchable. He's charismatic, and I knew the character was really dark. So I loved that idea of this charismatic guy who was like Hank in terms of charisma, but also had this side, and you can't not find him slightly winning, and it's kind of deadly. Yeah. Because you get this guy who's got this kind of juice and this kind of stuff pouring out of him, but then you take him into a dark side, and he's not portrayed in the film as like he ain't no saint.
Now that you know, I mean, when you know that you want to put him in the movie, how hard is the press to get him to sing? Like, is there a negotiation involved there, or was he on board all the way?
You mean to sing in the film or to sing for you guys?
To sing in the film.
No, he loves singing. He's a really talented singer. And he's a musician. He's so loaded with talent. It's scary. So
frustrating.
Sickening. 6'2". Look at him. He looks like a
movie star.
Movie star.
Some guys get all the luck.
No, that tell you. That's what I said to him all the time. I said, "What happened? Why didn't I get that deal?" No, he loved to sing, and every note in the film, is him, and in fact, everything in the story is very accurate, extremely accurate. Sometimes you'll be surprised at how accurate it is. I mean, I really went to great depths to make sure, and even though it sometimes would probably not have been the most dramatic in the sense that people want to see all the highs, I was dedicated to that, and so was he. He wouldn't let me, because he'd go, "Well, no, he didn't do that." And I go, "You're right, man, let's don't do it."
Congratulations. Thank you very much. How are you?
Hello, sir.
Good to see you, mate. You know, there is something so fascinating, I think, to movie audiences, but also to every actor that I've ever spoken to about the transformational aspect of a role.
Yeah.
And seeing somebody that we know turn into somebody completely different.
Yeah.
Is that what attracted you to this movie?
I think so. I mean, I feel like it's actually what's attracted me to everything I've done, you know. I suppose lots of
So you play yourself in a movie, of course.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, I think it's like, you know, it's my duty to live in the shoes of other people, and that's the part of it that I really enjoy. It feels like visiting a foreign country and sharing what's similar and what's different in a way. So I love that. It's because I find parts of myself in the character also.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear you there.
I don't know what that's about.
I think I know what it's about, but it's all right. You're being humble.
Anyway, I enjoyed it enormously.
You know, this story it's so crazy. Hank Williams' life story. You almost can't believe more people don't know about him and the story. It's shocking, actually.
Well, I think it's I mean, he has an assured place in the history of American music, because when he was a star in the late 40s, he was a huge star on the Grand Ole Opry, which was a show on the radio out of Nashville on Saturday nights in the days before television. And so people were listening to this stuff, and in their number were Elvis Presley and Bob Dylan, and they went on to become who they became.
And it really was the beginning of celebrity as well.
I suppose so, yeah. It was I guess it was the radio. It was that show out of Nashville, because it didn't matter what you were doing, whether you had a regular job on building a railroad, or you were working on the farm. On Saturday night, everybody tuned in to the Grand Ole Opry, and they listened to it.
I'm always interested about stories, especially with the rise and fall of fame and
yeah.
the trappings of fame and all that. Hank Williams certainly had his fair share. As somebody who lives, a public life, do you take away little snippets from that? Like, what lessons do you learn from those stories?
Well, I think you have to have a healthy relationship to it. I think what Hank struggled with is that he became a star so far. He
too fast
in a way, and he wasn't secure enough in his own life to be able to handle it. He turned to all the wrong temptations, for which I feel huge compassion. So the thing to do is to remember that ultimately it's about connecting with other people. But I relate to his struggle, because he was a young guy for whom it happened very young, and he struggled with suddenly things that came from his heart and soul being attached to making money, and I think he really struggled with that.
Congratulations. Good to see you. Thank you very much.